And the big story we're getting to you right now, the CBI has filed the third charge sheet in the Sheena murder case. In it, they have said that Peter was informed by Indrani throughout the time that she was doing a recce and selecting the spot of killing. The CBI has also said that Kajol Sharma did not speak to Peter pretending to be Sheena, as Peter was familiar with her voice and she was their only employee that he spoke to almost every day. Vidya, who in fact has scooped the details of that charge sheet, is joining us live from Mumbai. First of all, tell us what are the points in the charge sheet which make it clear, Vidya, that Peter was in the know.
Padmaja, they have also perused a lot of documents. Apart from the fact that they had already, used a lot of the call data records between Indrani and Peter earlier in the charge sheets as well. In this particular charge sheet, they have used a lot of these emails. If I can just read a few emails to you in which they are very, Peter's words, the way he's written them. These are mails sent to Rahul, and in these mails, if I can just quote one of it, he says that, and I was more interested in your safety, that is Rahul's safety. I could understand you having a broken heart because Sheena is already dead. Rahul cannot contact him. He's having a broken heart for a time, but nothing more than that. And I don't want any harm to come to you in processes. Who knows what things people can get into in their quest for saving their girls and their reputations. This is just one of the emails that CBI has perused, which goes on to show how Peter was really concerned about Rahul's safety, but not of Sheena, and who could have been murdered for the sake of reputation or saving their girls, as Indrani would have wanted. So certainly this is something that, these are the bits that the CBI has really put in together. They have said that the motive of killing Sheena was the sheer fact that both Indrani and Peter did not like the relationship of Rahul and Sheena to go further. Even though they had already gotten engaged, none of them had attended the engagement party. Apart from that, they constantly did not like the fact that they were together. They hated it. They asked Vidhi, their other daughter, who Peter had later adopted, to not get in touch with Sheena and Indrani. They wanted to, leave the entire couple away from their, leave them out. But apart from that, the fact that there are a lot of call records that have been perused, in which there are a lot of conversations between Peter and Indrani which do not exist earlier. But on the days when Indrani was doing the recce, finding out the spot where Sheena could be murdered, where her body could be disposed of, all this while it was being done. At that time, there are heightened calls. There are a number of calls. Not just there are a number of calls, there are also long conversations that are happening. And this, CBI says, is the reason why it believes. And there are also there are circumvents around the fact that, for example, after Sheena is dead, Rahul goes to the residence of Marlow residence to find out if Sheena was there. He does not find anyone there. The moment he goes and questions the security guard does not give him any info, but he calls up Indrani. Indrani in turn calls up Peter. Peter then calls up the security guard to ask him as to what was Rahul really inquiring about. So this entire circle that has been formed in that entire conversation, that is something that's really bothering the CBI, and that's one of the reasons they have put it up as evidence to show how Peter was really involved. In case he was not involved, then he wouldn't have made those calls to the security guard just when Rahul was questioning the security guard about Sheena and the other members.
Okay, we'll get more details from this charge sheet from Vidya in just a bit, but to put things in perspective, I'm also joined by Mumbai Bureau Chief Sahil Joshi. Sahil, this charge sheet seems to suggest that throughout the period when Sheena's murder was being plotted, Indrani and Peter were in constant and close touch. But did he know what was her intention? What has been cited to show that Peter knew of the ultimate intent to kill Sheena?
See, there are multiple things which CBI has tried to cite in the charge sheet. The first thing is about the call records, the call data records which India Today exposed, and in which it was shown that that's what the CBI's case is at this point of time, that Peter Mukerjea was in constant touch with Indrani Mukerjea when this murder happened, and even on the same night. Now, Peter has always been, Peter's lawyers has actually put forward their defense, saying that it's very natural that husband is calling wife to check how she's doing, because Peter was in UK at that particular time and Indrani was here. But at the same time, they also think that it's very difficult to digest. The CBI's whole theory is that it's very difficult to digest that despite Rahul's various efforts, despite Rahul constantly telling Peter Mukerjea that there is something wrong with Sheena Bora, that she had suddenly vanished, despite that Peter Mukerjea still believed in Indrani and kept telling him that he has to forget Sheena Bora now and he should not make any effort to contact her. At the same time, the call records, which definitely shows that he lied to Rahul Mukerjea. Now, Peter's defense was that there was a call made by Indrani to some girl, which he did not know, and that girl said hi Jiju, and that's why he believed that yes, Sheena is alive, and that's why he told Rahul Mukerjea that he just spoke to Sheena Bora just a while back when they had a conversation, and Rahul was pursuously calling them to ask Sheena Bora's about Sheena Bora's existence. Now here CBI says that it's very difficult to believe that such kind of call actually happened. The earlier theory was that it was Indrani Mukerjea's personal assistant who was on the other line and pretending to be Sheena Bora, but the CBI says that Peter knew Indrani's assistant very well, so it was not difficult for him to understand or identify her voice. So Peter Mukerjea's theory was not accepted by CBI, and that's what has been filed in the charge sheet. Now, there is only one thing, Padmaja, which I would really like to bring attention to in this particular murder case, is that CBI has been constantly saying in the court that in the next charge sheet, that is when they filed the first supplementary charge sheet against Peter Mukerjea, because they arrested Peter Mukerjea after they filed a charge sheet against Indrani Mukerjea, Sanjeev Khanna and driver Shamvar Rai. In the first charge sheet, they only gave a brief idea about Peter Mukerjea's possible role in this particular murder case. Now, in the second charge sheet, they have been claiming that they will come up with some evidence or their investigation regarding the financial angle of this particular aspect. Now, this charge sheet again is not focusing on this second supplementary charge sheet is again not focusing on the financial angle in this particular case. Now, CBI has come up with the same theory what Mumbai police has been presenting in this particular case, is that Peter Mukerjea and Indrani Mukerjea were not happy with the relationship of Rahul and Sheena Bora. They both were constantly trying to tell Sheena and Rahul separately to break that particular relationship. When they got to know that both of them have got engaged, since then it actually started playing in their mind that finally they have to end this, and that this is the only way they can end this. That's what the CBI's theory is saying at this point of time. Also, they had come up with the one thing that there was a flat which was purchased in Delhi, and how Indrani Mukerjea took out Sheena Bora's name from that particular flat, and that's why Sheena got angry with Indrani, and she started kind of blackmailing her by telling her that she will expose Indrani Mukerjea, and finally Indrani left with no choice than to commit this particular murder. That's what the CBI theory says. But the one aspect which CBI has been pushing forward, and that is the reason why the case was transferred to CBI from Mumbai police by the Maharashtra government. The one reason is basically the financial angle. What they said is that CBI is more equipped to investigate the financial angle because there is an international evidence which needs to be collected. There is an international link to this. Peter Mukerjea has properties and bank accounts in even the foreign banks as well, and that is the reason why the case was transferred to CBI. But the second supplementary charge sheet still hasn't come up with anything which can remotely say that there is a financial angle to this particular case, and this is what which they will have to answer.
In fact, let me put that question to Arthur. He has been, in fact, speaking his sources to his sources within the CBI. A lot of searches have gone on in the offices, the residences of the Mukerjeas over the last several months. Have any details come out where the CBI can bolster its theory about the financial angle behind the murder? And if yes, why isn't it finding mention in the charge sheet, Arthur?
Well, you see, the CBI investigation is not yet over, Padmaja. You know, it has filed supplementary charge sheets, but then under the process of law, as per the Evidence Act and Code of Criminal Procedure, the CBI is still looking into this angle and the case. So we are getting to know of sources that CBI might also file yet another supplementary charge sheet. The reason being that CBI suspects there was a larger conspiracy, something which has not come to the fore as of yet. And there was a conspiracy which was in the play, and Peter Mukerjea knew a lot more than he had been revealing. So that is one theory that the CBI is still looking at. Its investigation is not over yet. the financial angle and other conspiracy theories are still being looked into by the CBI team.
Until that happens, Vidya, of all the charge sheets that you've seen, the contents of the charge sheets filed by the CBI so far, essentially what they have done is put together all the circumstantial evidence, isn't it, and relate and narrate the sequence of events to build the theory that there is no possibility of Peter not having known that a murder plot was being hatched. Is that reading correct? This is basically circumstantial evidence on which this theory is being built?
Peter's involvement is not of the person who is executing someone. His involvement is that of conspiracy, and conspiracy is generally proved through circumstantial evidence, through phone calls, through conversations, probably not recorded, the number of call records. That is the reason why harping about the that the property, the division of it between Sheena and Mikhail would have been too much for them. They wanted to give their property only to Vidhi. That is the motive. Apart from the fact that they were really upset with the relationship of Sheena and Rahul, they wanted to somehow see that the two were apart, but that was not happening, and this probably was the reason why she was killed, because this is the only way they saw themselves out of the fact that if Sheena was out, then Rahul could be free out of this relationship, and Peter really wanted that. That has been quoted in the number of emails and SMSs that have been exchanged, and that is what the CBI has perused in its documentary evidence as well. Apart from that, you have to consider the fact that Peter was not in India when this entire murder had happened, and that is the reason the fact that the number of calls exchanged between the husband and wife is of importance during that period when the entire execution of Sheena is really happening, and that is why CBI is so much bent upon using that bit of evidence. The financial angle, the LR that has been sent to different countries, they will take months to come, and that is the reason why the entire trial will now have to begin without that. But they have said that they will be bringing that LR report and everything that they have sent to the 3 different countries in the subsequent time when they arrive. But until then, the trial will start from tomorrow itself.
All right, Abha Singh, a prominent lawyer from Mumbai, is also with us on the phone line. Stay with me, Sahil Athir and Vidya. Abha Singh, what do you make of what the CBI has said in its latest charge sheet, where they're talking about how there was close coordination between Peter and Indrani in the days leading up to Sheena's murder, so his role as a conspirator is sealed?
Exactly, the second supplementary charge sheet which has been filed is very valid, because the CRPC provides for one, that in case there's sufficient evidence is found. And I think the phone calls between Peter, Sheena, in fact there are so many Supreme Court judgments where phone call itself has been taken as a very valid ground for prosecution. And after this, I think matters going to be really difficult for Peter, because these where he's trying to misdirect Rahul by saying he doesn't know or that Sheena is whereabouts when he was very well aware of it. And I think this supplementary charge sheet is going to hit the final nail on the case. And now when it goes for trial tomorrow, conviction of Peter, Sheena, Peter, Indrani and Sanjeev Khanna is going to be certainly.
Even in the absence of any material evidence, so to say, so far, because there's all circumstantial evidence which has been put on record, Abha Singh.
But in so many murder cases, circumstantial evidence has been found sufficient by the Supreme Court to punish the accused. And I think circumstantial evidence is very leading, because the way Sheena was murdered, her body was destroyed, burned, and the way Peter was continuously in touch with Indrani. In fact, he provided for the taxi sitting in London in which Sheena's corpse was taken from Mumbai to Alibag. So this very clearly one can make out that Peter was in the know-how. Just for his safety, he was sitting out of the country, but he was being informed stage by stage.
All right. For now, Abha Singh, thank you very much for speaking to us, giving us the legal perspective. Thanks also to my colleagues, Athir Khan, Sahil Joshi and Vidya for all of their inputs.